Hello everyone, I'm Claire Marie B and welcome to my channel. In my video today, I'm going to be taking you through my January 2023 bullet journal setup. If you haven't set up your yearly spreads yet, here's a link that'll take you to my 2023 setup and you can see what it is that I've done to start the year off. So let's dive right into January. My theme this month I've chosen is snowflakes. I fancied doing this for a couple of years, didn't know exactly which way around I wanted to do it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not always drawn to certain blue colours. I really love the pale blue that I've used in this and like the powdery blue colour. But sometimes when I start throwing in darker blues, I'm just not that keen on it, which is strange because I gravitate towards navy and darker blue clothes and things like that and accessories. But yeah, every time I do a bullet journal spread or use a bit of blue, it's not always my favourite, the darker blues, of the stuff I do. But I see everyone else using it, it looks lovely. So that's one of the reasons I've kind of maybe stayed away from the snowflakes at some point, is because I was not always feeling the blue. However, I got myself some new pens. Check these out. These are Ohuhu, I believe is the correct way of pronouncing it. Number one, I love the name. so when you get the pens, if you love the name. These were actually recommended to me by my little niece. She was wanting some of these pens for Christmas. I was like, what are these then? And that's how I've discovered these. It's a huge range that I've got. These are some things that I bought myself. I'll always share if anything's ever gifted or I find something that somebody recommends, then I like to pass that on. So yeah, these are just new pens I've discovered, and yeah, the colour range is great that I've got, so I'm looking forward to using those a bit more in the next year. This is probably one of the longest bullet journal setups in terms of it taking me a while to do, because it was fiddly, of course, to draw each individual snowflake. And then on top, I went round and did outlines all around them too, which you'll see as well. I've got this cute little stamp set. I found it in my crafty cupboard, and it actually had some silver ink in there as well. So I thought this was perfect for my setup. The colour scheme this month actually came from some washi tape that I found in the cupboard. I bought it when I was visiting Sweden earlier in 2022. And it looked like snowflakes. I just really loved the blue. Like I said before, I don't always gravitate to darker blues in my journal, but there was just something about this washi tape and I was like, yes, that's perfect. So I picked the colour pens that I'm using today around the washi tape to make sure that it would all go, and you'll see why in a minute. And there's a little bit of pink in the washi tape, and I liked that as well, to be able to pick that out in the individual dots that you can see that I've put across the spread. So now you can probably see what was so time consuming about doing this spread. Going around, drawing out the snowflakes to start with, and then doing the outline, that was quite a challenge. I chose to use a dark blue this month for not just the writing, but also for going around all of the snowflakes as well. So I omitted using my black ink. It felt quite harsh using the black ink around the snowflakes, whereas this blue just softened it a little bit. I've gone for a faux calligraphy font for January and using the dark blue for that. And here's the washi tape I was telling you about. You can see now it's really nice. It's like a brighter blue with light blue in it and then a bit of pink. I hope that's showing up enough so you can see the pink in there. If not, check out my Instagram when I start posting my January pics and you'll see on there that the pink is in there as well. When I started setting up the cover page, I couldn't decide on a quote or not, so I'll come back to that later on in the video. Over the page and onto my calendar spread, I learned some valuable, I can't even say it without laughing, I learned some valuable lessons this month, everybody, and you're going to see why in a moment. So yes, I am going to tell you I went wrong. I've kept it in, I always do, but I'll show you where I went wrong. So first of all, I'm just going to put the January font again on the second page. I hadn't used, those that are avid followers of my account and my previous videos, you will have seen that I dropped doing a calendar page for a few months. I didn't feel I was really using it or getting the benefit from it. And then, boy, when November hit, did I feel not having the calendar. I think it's partly because I had so much to do in November and December. I was really missing the calendar of just having everything laid out. I'm quite a visual person. Funny that, doing creative things, but I'm kind of quite visual in the way that I work in my day job as well. So I've realised that it helps for me to have a full calendar. Even if I'm not putting a lot of things in it, it helps me to see that I've got a lot of availability and time, and that visual is something that I appreciate. So this is one of the spreads that I'm bringing back for 2023. I'm pretty much going to end up doing it every month. I know I will. As I say, just because then I can see how busy or how light I am. What I was finding in November and December is people were saying, hey, should we do this on this day? How can you meet up on that day? And I'd be thinking, I don't know, I'm losing track of what I'm doing. At least having a clear monthly calendar like this, it lets me know, yeah, I've got the availability. So now I've drawn the snowflakes out. That's where I went wrong. To start with, what I should have done is drawn the boxes first and then drawn the snowflakes, because what I've done there on the bottom left is I've drawn a snowflake over the top of where I need to have a box, because in January, at the end of January, the 30th and the 31st are a Monday and a Tuesday. So I left no space for the Tuesday. This seems to be the place where I go wrong. If I'm going to go wrong, it's going to be the calendar page. So what I did is cut out a bit of paper from the journal at the back of the journal, because I never use that last page really other than pen testing. I've stuck that over the top of the snowflake, and there we go, it's as good as new. So there's the boxes all drawn out. I think if I was doing this page again, I might, instead of using the pale blue at that top section, I might have used the pink. I think I could probably have used the pink a little bit more across my monthly spread. I guess it depends which colours you really want to use. I don't think it makes it any better or any worse necessarily doing the blue. It all comes down to personal choice, doesn't it? So yeah, I may have done the pink a bit more, but you'll see towards the end when I do my flip through, I come back and incorporate a little bit of the pink more around the edges of the boxes, just to bring that out a bit more. I really enjoyed the repetitive nature of the snowflakes this month. I could have used all different types of snowflakes, but I knew the amount of time it was going to take to draw this out. I just wanted it to be nice and simple and just clean and crisp, like the snow basically. So that's why I decided to stick to one type of snowflake and then have that as the repetitive pattern. On the right hand side here, the boxes are for me to have my to-do lists. I like a monthly to-do list. I have changed recently and moved into a rolling weekly spread. They're really good. I was doing them without fully realising that's what I was doing, or I was kind of half doing it. And I found that really works for me now to list everything out, having bullet point dots in columns. If you check out my weekly spreads on Instagram, that's where I show the rolling spreads and some of the spreads I used to do as well. I've got lots of different weekly spreads, and maybe if people are interested, I might put together a little video to show you how I do my weeklies and my rolling week, and just to explain that a bit more. and that's the calendar spread. Over the page, we are going on to mission control. What you'll see me doing with the book on the left-hand side and placing this under my journal as I go throughout the spreads this month, this is because it's a brand new journal and there's not really many pages on the left-hand side. So I'm finding the difference in height a bit of an issue when I'm trying to draw and draw the letters or draw any of the boxes. I'm compensating for the lack of paper in the journal with it being new by opening one of my older journals behind roughly to about the same level of paper as the part on the right hand side, sliding that underneath, and then that's giving me a bit more of a flat canvas to work from. So my mission control, keeping that for 2023, I've been loving this and the change that I made into having this as a spread. This is the page where I put everything. I have a monthly focus. I'll put some goals, just gentle goals. I'm not kind of all about over-analysing and just constantly in the goals, because I think sometimes if you do that too much and you spend too much time worrying about the goals, you don't really leave yourself a lot of time to get the goals done. I'm also hugely guilty of giving myself way too much to do and expecting far too much, or achieving something and then that not being quite good enough for myself. So I find just having a few simple goals on my mission control page is so much more beneficial for me, because I feel that sense of achievement. I can tick them off at the end of the month. They're realistic. They're SMART goals, everyone. Let's put work to good use. They're SMART goals, and that's the most important thing. I've also changed mission control a little bit this month because I have quite a lot going on in January. I decided, instead of having my trackers page, I would normally do a double page spread on trackers, one which would track my habits, and then I would do another page which would be about my mood. That dropped off as I went through 2022 because generally I'm a positive and productive person. So it was just constantly colouring things in as positive and productive. It was fun for a little while, and then I thought, well, let's make my journal a little more useful and to me, or working a bit more for me. So I took away the mood tracker, and I was still keeping my habit trackers. This month, what I'm writing out here on the right hand side, that's my habit trackers. I've decided to do a big column with all the days of the week, and then tick across the days of the week when I've done the actual habits, which I'm now writing out all along the top. So I have different things like activity, closing my activity rings on my watch, drinking my water, things like that. So, and I like to keep track of things on here as well. When did I last speak to certain people, or when did I last do water the plants? I'll change up my habits each month in terms of whatever it is that I feel like I'm needing to focus on. And there we go. That's my mission control spread, all done. Over the page, I'm now going to be putting in two quite blank spreads. The first one on the left-hand side is going to be my well-being spread. This is something I started towards the end of 2022. This started to go in place of the mood tracker. Oh man, this has been brilliant. I saw somebody's post on Instagram where they did a bit of a kind of like a bucket list around well-being or self-care or whatever you want to call it. And they had a little checklist of things they wanted to do across that month. This has been just brilliant for me. I really love the process each month of deciding what it is it that I want to focus on, what nice treats or things that I'm going to enjoy do I want to do in that particular month, and making it seasonal, obviously. So that's what's going to be on the left-hand side. I tend to create the spreads and then sit down right at the start of the month where I'm transferring everything from the month before into the next month. And that's when I'll really look at what did I achieve in my well-being the month before. Are there any ones that I want to repeat the next month? And then I'll write out which ones I want to have as new. So that's what the left-hand side will be. On the right-hand side, it's very blank. That's because I'm going to be starting a coaching accreditation in January. So I'm going to be doing quite a big, heavy, intense course. I don't fully know exactly what to expect, but I know I'm going to need to dedicate quite a bit of time to this, and it feels really good to be doing some investment in myself and my learning. So on the right hand side, that's where I've decided to put just a blank spread for this month for me to make some notes, have some ideas and inspiration, and have a page where I can just come and jot those things down around what do I need to do, how can I set myself up for success on this training course, and how do I need to set up my study. And then in the months after, I probably will incorporate a few different study spreads throughout the year as well. So I will be looking for inspiration for some of those. It's been a while. So it's been a while where I've just been working solidly and focusing on the business I work for rather than me. So this will be good to do that investment in me. And then here we are onto my final spread, which is my memories page. As you know, if you've watched my videos before, I will leave this really blank. This is where I populate lovely things that have happened throughout the month. I've been so busy in October, November, December. I've probably neglected my memories pages a bit. So I need to put some investment into these and get back to loving doing this and reflecting. It is my reflection at the end of the month, but I don't like to reflect to go, what could I have done better? What did I fail at? That's not what I need my journal to do and be doing. My job involves quite a lot of self-reflection and things like that as well. So my journal is kind of my escape from daily life, where I kind of shut things off and shut work off like that. So that's the reason I stay away from things like this in my journal. But I'd fully encourage everybody to look at what works for them with goals and self-reflection. So at the end of the journal, I'm coming back to the start, and I did in the end pick a quote for the month, and you'll see me writing this out here. And here's my final flip through. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching my video. Please like and subscribe if you liked my content, and you'll be notified of future content that I create. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.